Hi guys, I hope you're doing well and you enjoy chess and life. This is the second lesson of the prophylactic thinking series, and in this video we're going to continue our discussion on prophylaxis and how to improve this skill in our games. We have a position here. This is the game between Yefim Geller and Andreas Mikhail Chishin in the USSR Championship in 1978. As you might know, this is from the Sicilian defense, Scheveningen type of Sicilian, and it's white to move. In this position, you need to think and at least 2 or 3 minutes and think what you're going to do in this position with the white pieces. Okay, let's have some tips and see what we can do in this position. First of all, the last black move was knight g7. Black's knight was on e8 and it comes to g7, and now it's gonna go to f5. It somehow prepares it. He doesn't want to do it right now, but he might want to take on d4. For example, let's just pass a move for white, h3, knight takes d4. For example, bishop takes d4, and it might be very dangerous, and black plays knight f5. His knight is going to f5, and it's a secure place, and his knight is going to be a very good piece. So it's the black idea. So what you're going to do with the white pieces and how white should continue this position. Some of you might think that, okay, black wants to play knight g4, knight f5, let's just prevent it by g4, but it's a very, very bad decision because black can just simply play knight takes e5 and he's gonna take on f3, and if you take on b7 he'll take it with check against your king. So, and you cannot even play bishop f4 here because black has knight f3, and after bishop takes c7 he can just take on d4. So it's a very bad move to make because this long diagonal becomes very weak. So g4 here is not good. So we cannot prevent it by g4. If you play bishop to h6, it might not be a very bad idea, but I might just think that black can do something like, I might just rook f d8 it might be. And now black once again wants to take on d4 and wants to put his knight on f5. I mean, if you take on c6, black will just take it back, and I think black is completely okay in this position. If you take on g7, black just simply take it back and nothing happens. There are other choices also for black. I mean, he can just even take on d4, and after rook takes d4, he might even play knight f5. I don't know what is it, but it might be an option. It might be an option because of bishop f8 there is knight takes d4, but I have a feeling that white has something like rook c4. Yeah, rook c4 is winning for white. So black cannot take on d4, but he will just play something like rook d8. Yeah, just something like rook d8 it might be the best move, and black just survives, and he wants to take on d4. So bishop h6 is not a good idea after knight g7. Let's see what Geller done in his game. It's a very great idea. He first exchanged on c6. He exchanged a pair of knights. Bishop c6 is forced. And now white played queen c4. This is a very strong move, and he wants to just take the bishop. So the only move for black is just to defend it by his rook. I mean, if he plays knight f5, white can just simply goes backward. And in near future, white can just simply kick back this knight. I will show you later. But if he plays bishop c5, white can just simply take on c6, and if queen c6, b4 is lost, so for black, and if bishop e3, rook d7, knight d4, it's just all over. Knight comes to f6, and black position will collapse. So bishop c5 is not an answer. Black played rook fc8. I mean, he doesn't play rook h8 because he might have thought that, okay, at least white has something like this, and if I play knight f5, he can even take on b6, which I'm not sure about this, but white is still is a pawn up, and he can just move his bishop to one square. I don't know where. It might just goes back to g1 or c1. White is just a pawn up, but He played rook f8, and this is a very critical position for white. He played queen takes c6, he exchanged the queens, queen takes c6, bishop c6, rook c6, and now the queens and the bishops are off the board, and now white plays rook d7. He attacks the bishop. You might say that there is no prophylaxis in these moves. There is. You can see it in the next moves. Okay, rook to d7, and now black has to play rook e8. There is nothing else, and this is the critical moment. And here it's very simple. Here, of course, you can just play g4, and the knight is dead. He cannot go out. It's over. It's over for this knight, and he cannot go out of his place by any means. If he plays h5, white will just simply play h3, and this knight is dead. It's restricted and it cannot go out. So it's a very good calculation by white. He first started with knight takes c6 to exchange bishops and a pair of knight, a pair of bishops and queens to liquidate everything. And after that, and only after that, because here there is no danger for white king. After g4, his king is safe. It's even a good thing for king. It can come out to g2 after all. So first exchange the queens and bishops and knights, and now g4. Okay, let's see the game till the end. G4. It's still very illustrative, and let's see what happened in the game. H5 by Mikhail Chishin. White played h3, h takes g4, and b5. Black started to do some counterplays, but white took on b5, a takes b5, and knight e4. This is a very good move. White wants to penetrate on f6, and after that he can catch the bishop, catch the knight. Rook takes c2, knight f6 check, takes, and now the knight is dead, as I said earlier. Rook takes b2. Black, in the meanwhile, he wants to grab some pawns, but white just took the pawn, and now black has to play f5 because rook takes f7 is coming, and rook takes f7. Just imagine rook f8, bishop h6. This is just all over. So he played f5, and now it's a very important position because if you don't play correctly and if you don't play accurately, you might even not win this game, because winning a winning position, to own a winning position, is a very hard thing to do in chess. And now Geller, with his great technique, he played rook f3, and now after f takes g4, because he wants to play rook h3 and rook h8 mate, so black has to take it, and now rook to f4. Now you might think, okay, it's nothing. Black played just rook c8, and he wants to do some thing in the background, but now it's the last move of the game, and white just simply played bishop c5. He wants to play rook f8 check, and he cannot take it because of rook f8, and it's just all over. So it's the last part of the game, and white won it very easily. But the main thing in this example is to remember to pay attention to your opponent's possibilities. White calculated several moves, and he made it very correctly to just prevent this knight to come out. I mean, with this kind of calculation, white just simply exchange. Okay, he started with queen c6, bishop c6, rook c6, and rook d7. White just eliminated all of the black possibilities. Black was forced to come to this variation, and after rook e8, and only now he played g4. He prevented knight f5, and now this knight is completely dead. And there is some variations that black might have done something else. For example, here after knight d4, or here, for example, it might be better to play rook c4, but here, I mean, rook c4 it might be better, but it's still lost for black. But you can just check it out with engines or anything else. So this is this example, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think about these videos and this series by your comments, and please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share the video with your friends. I hope you enjoyed it and have fun.